Welcome to Lab Rats. Today, we will be looking inside our body to see how we digest food. We need to eat every day because it gives us energy and nutrients we need to live, love, work. But have you ever thought, how does your body really do this? How does your body really break down the food for all this nutrients and energy? There's three main types of foods that we eat to get all the energy we need. Carbohydrates, which are basics like sugars and starches, fats and oils, and we have proteins. Those three food groups give us all the energy we could ever want, but we do need to eat a decent quantity of each. We also need a lot of nutrients, and those are vitamins and minerals. And we get those from all the vegetables, fruits, or natural foods out there. Everything you can't process, everything you cannot eat for energy or nutrients is called fiber, and that just goes right on through us. Now let's just take a quick look at the food's pathway. It starts up at your mouth, you swallow it, goes into your stomach, goes down into your gut, and it'll go back and forth through your intestines. Your intestines are actually 25 feet long. That's longer than the room I'm standing in. So it's actually very well organized in here, and eventually makes it all the way down to the bottom where we will eventually poop it out. We use our teeth to mechanically mash up the food into smaller and smaller pieces. Well, then it makes its way down to the stomach. Now, how does our stomach help us process food? So our stomach is filled with stomach acids, and stomach acid is actually hydrochloric acid, and it's very, very concentrated. It's actually all the way down at pH of 1. And there's a lining in our stomach that's built to protect us and keep our stomach safe in this harsh environment. That allows us to break down the food even more at a chemical level. So using chemistry, it'll actually break down the food and make it easier to process in the intestines. For this experiment, we're gonna make a model of our intestines. So what you're gonna need for this experiment is a bowl, some pantyhose, some bags, and some food. Now, this is an incredibly messy lab. What I find useful is some rubber gloves. Goggles are always good in case it splashes into your eyes. And you always want to have some paper towels ready to go. Next step is choosing the food you want to eat. Now, with this model, I want you to do this a couple of different times and change up the foods you use to see how they differ and process differently in our intestines. So for this first model, I'm going to use crackers, grapes, and lettuce. So this baggie will represent our mouth and stomach, the process of our mouth going into our stomach. So we start with eating some food. Maybe I'll eat some lettuce, and I'll eat some grapes. Now, probably don't eat the stems as much, but I'm gonna put them in here just to show. Now, we wanna keep our mouth closed when we eat, right? So now, this is where a partner comes in. Someone can hold it up, and these can represent your teeth. Our teeth are going to mash it up. Now, if you're by yourself, it's okay, just put it down and use your cup to mash it up. Now this will show you if you don't chew your food very well, you only chew it a couple of times like so, and then swallow it versus really taking the time to mash it up. Maybe see how that'll differ in your lab. Now, if this was looking a little dry, that's because we like to drink water. We like to drink water. And that's because water will help us process. We do need a lot of water in our body anyways. We're into 70% water, but it'll also help us process the nutrients in food. So let's add a little bit of water, maybe 100 mils of water, like a gulp, and really close this up nice and tight. Okay, now that it's mashed up, you can mash it up more with your teeth. This is sort of what it's gonna look like when it gets to your stomach. Doesn't look very appetizing, that's true. It's because it's been mashed up with liquids and then go in and mix with all that hydrochloric acid in your stomach, and then finally make its way to the intestines. Pull out your pantyhose. First step is you're gonna transfer everything in here into your pantyhose. So multiple ways to do this. You can cut a hole and feed it through, or you can put this over the top, and this is very stretchy. Open it all the way up, feed it in, and turn it upside down. As you start seeing, water is starting to flow through the intestines and into the bowl. That actually happens in our body. Water flows very, very easily through our intestines. We process water very efficiently. Once you're trying to squeeze all this down, your body actually has a process of squeezing its stomach and squeezing the intestines to work the food through. So as you feel it might be hard to get the food down in, you're trying to get all the food out of your stomach and into your intestines. Good, that's pretty good. You can pull those out. And now your body's gonna work its way down, and as I squeeze, you should see more and more liquid coming out. And that's what your body's gonna be doing. It's gonna be slowly squeezing itself, squeezing your intestines, and you're gonna keep squeezing it through. Now, while this might only take 5 minutes for you, inside of your body, this process from start to finish can take multiple days. Make sure it gets as much nutrients out as it can. Once you're happy with how many nutrients you got out, what do you think our body does with what's left over? All this stuff that's still inside here, it couldn't make it through the filter, couldn't make it through the sides of the intestines. Our body just poops this out. Now, of all this stuff in here, what you can do is actually cut open the bottom and feed it out, and actually look at what is inside of the bottom of the intestines still. What's still down there? Well, as I pull it open, I can already see lettuce. Now this did not mix with the water very well at all, even when I crushed it up. Now I got green coming out through here, so clearly some of it made it through. That's what we call fiber. Plants and vegetables have a lot of fiber in them. And fiber is really anything that our bodies cannot process, as in it cannot make it through the intestines into our bloodstream. But our body really needs that stuff. It really helps it absorb the nutrients, it helps it work its way through our intestines, it helps the food move through easier, and it helps us poop. So that fiber, even though our body doesn't process it, doesn't mean it doesn't have a purpose. It's very, very useful in our body. So you can keep going and see all the different stuff the body did not take. Mostly the lettuce. You get down to the bottom and I'm seeing some grapes, and definitely the vine of the grapes. But I'm really not seeing a lot of the crackers. Not a lot of crackers there. And that's because carbohydrates, or highly processed foods, like crackers, are easily absorbed into water, and they make it into this. And so all this little cloudiness is a lot of the crackers you see. And so you can see for yourself how our body processes these different foods. So what is more fibrous? What is easier to absorb? What isn't so easy to absorb through our intestinal walls? Now, while the 2 hours of process and the chemical process of our stomach and hydrochloric acid does help open up some of this fibrous material, does help open up these cells so we can get more nutrients out of them. But the principle still stays the same. It's often why when you eat a lot of corn, you might see whole corn kernels in your poop, but instead of having to go through your poop to see what you didn't filter out, we can use this model instead. So grab different assortment of food, try different proteins, try different vegetables or fruits, try different oils and crackers and soups and anything you have in your house. Ask your parents what's the different foods you can use and see how your body processes them differently. Have fun, make a little bit of a mess, but keep it clean, keep it tidy enough to where it's easy to clean afterwards. It's hard to do this one without making any mess at all. Have fun, and as always, happy sciencing!